Well, welcome to another episode of Port Charles Chat. I'm Mom.
I'm Brandon.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
All right, we had an exciting week on General Hospital, Brandon. A whole 2 days. Whatever are we going
Wow.
to talk? I know. Whatever are we going to talk about?
Wow, 2 days. I mean, that's better than one.
Oh, it is better than one. That is so correct. But anyway, baseball was on this week, and so General Hospital came on for us on Monday and on Friday with new episodes. So I guess we'll get started. Today's episode probably not going to take that long, but this is the week of September 29th through October the 3rd, and we are taping this on October the 4th. All right, so let's get started. So first of all, Nathan is awake. Liesel and Britt have had the opportunity to see him. Liesel was very excited to see her son. And then later on that week, Nathan gets a chance to, and he actually meets James. Britt, on the other hand, did not show much enthusiasm for seeing her brother. Yes, she did hug him, but I thought was interesting is when she did hug him, she made a comment like, I will be in contact with you later. Um, but she was not as excited as, of course, Lisa was to see her son. All right. And then Tracy meets Ronnie. Ronnie is actually Monica's sister. They meet at the vault. They meet at the, I guess, the family. I don't want to say vault, but anyway, they meet at.
The
um,
crypt?
Thank you. So Tracy meets Ronnie. Ronnie is Ronnie is Monica's sister. Tracy does acknowledge that she knows of Ronnie. Apparently, she had a private investigator check her out years ago. So, but she is still surprised to see Ronnie there. They have a very long conversation. Um, Based on the conversation, it sounds as if Ronnie and Monica have spoken by mailing each other. So through mail, they have had conversations. And that is the way they're kind of leading it. They're also leading it in a way that it seems as though these conversations perhaps might be true, or this lady just knows enough, or someone has fed her information because she's able to speak in some detail in regards to Monica's life. And then later on this week, basically Friday, Monica meets Sunny and they have a long conversation. And she tells Sunny about her whole story. Let's see. And then in other news, Rick and Alexis and Ava. Rick actually escapes his tied up nature, I should say, from the basement. He has been drugged, and apparently he's been spitting out the medicine that Ava's been giving him. And so he does escape, and he does go, and he kind of somewhat tortures Alexis. And then Ava walks in, knocks him out, and back to the basement he goes. And so that's basically it with Ava, Rick, and Alexis. And then Anna, on the other side, is still working on the case. She has made a new discovery. She has discovered that the bullet that was used in the shooting of Drew, that it actually came from Edward Quartermain's gun. So the question is, who would have access to it from the Quartermains? And so she does speak to the ADA about it, as she also speaks to Molly. Michael, on the other hand, seems to be working on his alibi. He introduces Jacinda to Molly and to Christina, and he just kind of lets her know. All right, so Anna is still working on the case in regards to the shooting of Drew. She does make a discovery. She finds out that the bullet that was used was actually comes from a gun that was used by Edward Quartermain years ago in another case. And so the question for Anna is that she speaks about with the ADA is who from the Quartermains who could possibly have access to this gun. And so she does go through her list of suspects. Molly does. She does actually go through this with Molly also, and they also discuss information. And Molly actually has a conversation with her about Jacinda. Michael, on the other hand, is still working on his alibi. He has introduced Jacinda to his sisters purposely, and he has let them know that Jacinda is a friend of his. And Molly and Christina kind of question it a little bit. Molly's really kind of suspicious because to her it looks like that Michael is actually doing this purposely in order to kind of help his alibi out a little bit. And for me, this was basically our week in a nutshell. It wasn't much just because we only had 2 days. Brandon, what did I miss?
Ooh, what was missed? I mean, I think that's about it. There wasn't a lot of storylines going around. I mean, just Britt and a Rick and uh, and Ronnie. And Ronnie and Sonny seem to be getting along and chatting.
I know. I like them together in the sense of just speaking. I thought they had a very comfortable conversation. And so I thought it was interesting that the writers chose, or whoever chose, to let them be the people to actually bring her out a little bit. Or maybe they're trying to say she's a little shady and we just don't know about it. But anyway, we also know that the reading of the will, Monica's will, would be coming up soon. So that part they did mention. And we can assume by the way a conversation that Ronnie had is that Ronnie will be there too for the reading of the will.
Yeah, that's what I would pretty safely assume.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's it for the week. Let's get on to our fun part. Let's talk about our performers of the week. For me, there really were only two. That was Ava, and I just got a kick out of her. And then I included Ronnie with this, even though she's new. I thought that she did a nice job of establishing herself and being different from the character that she played on One Life to Live. So I like that she came on and established herself very quickly or early. All right, Brandon, what about you for the performer of the week?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use the same two as you, Mom. I mean, one for for Ronnie, I really liked the dynamic that she had, the bickering back and forth with Tracy. I mean, Tracy bickering with everyone, I think, is a hilarious sight. But I really liked that dynamic, and I think she fit right into the canvas on essentially day one, so to speak. And then for Ava, I mean, who can get enough of Ava? I mean, that's just in and of itself, especially her and Alexis working together.
Yeah, I agree with you there. All right, and that's for amusing scene of the week. This actually had to do with me with Ava and Alexis. When Rick was kind of out and bothering Alexis, Ava just kind of came in and knocked him back out, and I thought that was yeah, I was surprised by it. It made me laugh, and so I thought they did a nice job with that scene. So for me, Ava and Alexis kind of had the amusing scene of the week. How about you, Brad?
Okay, so I'm gonna do a part two to that.
Okay.
And I will say, to me, the hilarious scene is after all that, they dragged Rick back down, and they handcuffed him, and then Alexis and Ava do a high five. It just
Yes.
think is hilarious. I mean, they've come such a long way since from being sparring enemies. If only Christina could joined in on that.
Yes, they are doing a nice job with that storyline. It'll be interesting to see what happens once Rick is set free, and then even Ava had made the comment like, "If you were free, why didn't you just leave the house?" so, so he had his chance to get out. Something I did leave out from the things that happened this week was that a phone call was made to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth did hear Rick in the background, and he was kind of moaning, but he did hear she did hear Rick in the background. Anyway, as for touching scenes of the week, for me it actually had to be with Liesel and Nathan. And when she got a chance to see her son, I thought it was nice. And so they for me are the that was the touching scene of the week. What about you, Brandon?
Ooh, touching scene of the week for me. I would have to say that I really liked James and Nathan together, but I would also say I liked Felicia and Spinelli together. It's been so long since we've had we're discussing offline since we've had a real Spinelli storyline. So I really am enjoying that.
Yes, same here. As for fast forward scenes this week, I didn't have any fast forward scenes. What about you? Did you have any, Brandon?
No, I think that the baseball is the only thing that needs to be fast forwarded.
All right. And then as for missing scenes, yes, we were missing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That for me were the missing scenes. All
They'll
right.
feel like whole episodes.
I know, I know. All righty. And as I'm continuing the Who Shot Drew storyline, for me, I'm still back to Stella and Danny. I know they talked about the Quartermain gun. For me, that would explain Danny. So I'm going to stick with Stella and Danny, at least for this week. Always something to change for the upcoming week. All right, you, Brandon?
Oh yes, and does that mean? I think the thing that I am most curious about is because Anna didn't just say it was connected to Edward Quartermain, that it was connected to a previous case or a previous crime. What case or crime was that?
I don't know. And that is a good question. And I wish they'd have gone into detail because I do not recall. I do not recall. So maybe they'll go into detail a little later about which crime this was that Edward committed. Edward did so many, I'm not sure. And it could just be something going off for Edward. It didn't necessarily mean that he did anything wrong per se. All right. And then I have some welcome backs this week. First of all, welcome back, James. And Ava was been missing for a little bit. Rick has been gone for quite a while. Spinelli, he's been back and forth. And then Christina was missing for the last week. And then welcome back, George. I'm not welcome back. I'm sorry. She's missing. So welcome back, James, Ava, Rick, Spinelli, and Christina. Those are my people I'm welcoming back this week. What about you, Brad?
Oh yes, definitely. I'm glad that we're getting some different characters that we haven't seen in a moment for this very shortened week, and I look forward to the ones that are going to return coming back.
Yes. So now I have the where are they? Well, I think Jocelyn's been missing for quite a while. People should be suspicious and wonder where she is. But anyway, so where is Jocelyn? Where is Vaughn? Where is Brennan? And then I will say, where is Jordan? Because Jordan, I know she was there a couple weeks ago, but she's missing again. So anyway, and we only had 2 days this week, but those are the people who I'm saying are missing. And what about you, Brandon?
Yes, definitely. We are missing them. I know Jocelyn's going to be back next week, at least in the preview, assuming that more baseball does not occur. And so, looking forward to that because I think I'd looked it up and it was sometime in the middle of September that Jocelyn was last on.
Yep, I believe that. And then what I'm looking forward to for next week is really just continuing the storylines for what we missed from last week, from this last week. And so the reading of the will, of course, is something that should be interesting. How about you, Bran?
I want to see a real twist, and I'm not just referring to Ronnie getting the house because I'm sure that's going to happen in some capacity or another, or her getting something of some possession between her or Drew or Martin. Um, I think something like that's probably going to happen. Or what would really mess with Tracy? Sonny getting everything. I mean that's something. I'm not sure, Mom, if you actually saw that the video that General Hospital put out on their YouTube page, talking about who's the cast member speculation as to who's going to get the house.
No, I have not seen it yet.
Yeah, so it went out a few days ago. They put out a YouTube short that first had a compilation video of everyone saying, yeah, it's Monica's house. Alan gave it to her. And then they put out a full video that had some of the cast members weighing in. And so most people said, like, a Jason or a Michael, some of the grandkids. But meanwhile, Robert York, who plays Mac, he said that he thinks it's going to go to Sonny because Sonny seems to get everyone, the wives, the children, everybody.
Well, that'll be funny if Sonny were to own the house. All right, guys, who do you think is going to own the house? Let us know in the comments. It'll be interesting to hear. And Brandon, anything else that you'd like to talk about for this week?
No, I'm going to say my last prediction is that it's probably going to go to Ronnie because that'd be the obvious suspect. But I would really like to see like a true, genuine twist
Yeah.
with this, and not necessarily with the house, but I would like to see just the overall twist within the scenario that we're just not expecting. Because I think the obvious one's going to be the house. I would like there to be a like multi-layered twist in it. Like I don't know, maybe she gave something to like Curtis or something for some reason.
Yeah, that would be a multi layered twist. All right, everybody, we thank you for joining us today.
and we look forward to seeing you next time.
All right, have a great day, everybody.